Oh, merry happy holidays.
That's right. All the things. Oh my gosh. Well, it is a little later in the month, but just still want to talk about things that can be done in December. Because if you're like us, you are behind, running around, trying to get everything done, but you still have a little bit of time left. So if you get a beautiful day at home, you can pop out there and do some things to wrap up your year.
Yeah, take advantage of a nice weather day. We'll get a few here and there, hopefully.
And it's not a heavy work month, which is really nice. It's kind of like you get to have a little bit of a rest at the end of the year. And really today we're just going to talk about protecting plants and other things you can do in December. Easy peasy, set yourself up for January.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Welcome to Fostering Blooms, the podcast where we dig deep into gardening and all the ways it can enrich your home and life.
Together, we'll explore every aspect of gardening the organic way, keeping it simple, accessible, and fun.
Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just getting your hands in the dirt, we're here to share the tips and insights you need to grow something truly special. I'm Shanna Foster Boleen.
And I'm Caitlin Blum, and we're two friends on a mission to cultivate beauty, creativity, and connection through everything we grow.
This is Fostering Blooms.
All right, so I know I need to do some more of this. I know you do too. We are gonna finish what fall started, and really this comes down to my bulbs. You know what though? I ordered bulbs and they didn't get here until like end of November.
Yeah, I had the same experience.
So it's like, okay, I guess, you know, supplier company, you are letting me know it is okay to plant these in December.
Yeah. I mean, really, they say you can plant them till Christmas. I mean, I think we'll give ourselves grace and say you can plant them through the end of December. Yesterday, I worked outside and I did plant bulbs and it was 57 and today it's 16. I think that you're going to have some of those, at least in East Tennessee, which is what we're talking about where we live.
Yeah.
You'll have some of those days that you still can get them out there as long as you get them in before the ground freezes and they get enough cold hours.
Yeah, I think so. In the past, I've had to do bulbs in like end of January and they suffered. I could tell. They came up and they were pretty, but they weren't as robust as they could have been. So I'm really going to try. I have tulips and drumstick alliums to get in. I didn't do as many bulbs this year as I did last year. I just try to be more realistic, put less on myself, especially with the holidays.
No, I get it.
What more bulbs do you have to do?
Let's see. How many did I have? 500, 450?
Oh my God.
So here's one thing to keep in mind with my situation. And this made me feel really good because I saw Jo Thompson actually say this in one of her newsletters. She was talking about how if you get really desperate, just like throw them on the ground and dump a bunch of compost on them and say a little prayer and they'll still come up. So a lot of the bulbs that I have are going into the parterre. And so that section inside the boxwood is actually a really good place for me to be able to just basically dump them because I am going to load it up with a lot of compost and mulch because it needs that. Yesterday when I planted the alliums and the bulbs were massive. Those are supposed to go really deep because they're big. And I was like, no, I'm not doing it. So I augered a 5-inch hole, backfilled it with gravel and some fertilizer and then put some soil in. And then they were planted pretty shallow. And then I just, for the cold, I piled 3 inches of mulch on them. And I'm going to go back and add compost and then just put the other bulbs around it and layer it.
I think that's great.
But my point is that you can do that. And the drumstick alliums, they don't need a lot of super love, tender hugs and kisses and stuff. So
yeah. I remember I did my drumstick alliums and they're small bulbs. I did them in just the grass on the hillside and I just drilled maybe 2-inch holes.
Yeah.
And popped them in and then just pressed the earth back on it that I had dug up.
Yeah.
They got absolutely nothing special.
I've got 200 of those. The drumstick alliums are near the lavender. So I'm just going to drill a pretty big size hole and then put 10 or 15 in. So I'll have big groupings.
That'll be cool.
So that'll go really fast
Maybe
when
I'll
you
try
think
doing
about
that for my area because I would put 2 or 3 in each hole, but I like that. That's kind of a cool idea is to do a bigger grouping of them.
So they kind of pop up. And then I have a bunch of daffodils and I hate to say this because daffodils are more expensive sometimes than tulips, but they're always the last thing I do. I feel on one level, they're the ones that can kind of almost handle
They're tough
going
buggers.
in fast. So we'll get them in.
Yeah. And two, the water in that soil, if it's dry,
Does not here.
which it's been very wet, but if you're in a drier area, make sure that you do that. Other things you want to do to get clean up around your garden, remove any frost-killed annuals. I still need to do that. And leave some stems and seeds for wildlife. I have some flowers that will keep some structure in the garden and will be some nice little winter food for the birdies. Anything you garden, if it's diseased, don't compost it. Just throw that away.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to lead me to the next point, which is roses.
Yeah.
It's fair to say that I'm rose obsessed, but my roses did not look very good this year. And I struggle. It's crazy. I'll go to Kate's house and hers have like nary a spot of black spot on them. And I'm always like,
I hate you. I hate you and your roses.
no, I love them.
I know.
I'm like, it's possible. This is possible. And over here, it's like I have so much black spot. And the first 2 years, I was really diligent in cleaning up around them. And I sprayed a little bit.
Do you think that made a difference? Looking back, were your roses healthier when you did that diligently? Or do you think it's your property, like not your property, I don't mean it like that, but like where you are in airflow, like what do you think contributes? Because I'm curious as to what.
Yeah. Well, the biggest problems I had were down in the courtyard. I think that area plus the roses I chose and the brick and everything else. Yeah. Although one of the roses I chose is notoriously healthy and has done well in another spot and has not had that level. So there's something about planting in that courtyard, maybe near that brick wall. The iceberg roses, I'm going to replace them.
Yeah.
I think they're just never going to kind of improve. But the rose garden, I think the big problem I had over here wasn't just black spot. It was they were getting a lot of sun blocked by what grew in front of them.
Yeah.
But I do want to have really lush, beautiful roses. And those are supposed to get to about 4 to 5 feet. Yeah. And they're a little behind after this year. So I did a deep dive on ChatGPT about how I can really combat the black spot. I know I can't eradicate it, but how I can help so that they don't defoliate as much and ways that I can improve my soil. One of the things that I found really interesting was that this is the month, and I've never done this, that yes, go back and clean up underneath them and bag those leaves because they're diseased and you don't want them to compost or be nearby. But also strip any leaves that are on. Mm-hmm. And some of my roses still do have leaves on them because it's been warm. I mean, we saw weeds growing. I was looking yesterday, I'm like, shit, I need a weed. So take off any of the leaves and then trim back any really spindly branches, anything that if you noticed one stem had tons of black spot on it, anything that's diseased, kind of a light pruning.
I love light pruning in December.
Yeah, if you get bored, come on by.
I want to go heavier, but you gotta wait. I think that's the biggest thing is just hard. Structural. Sorry.
Yeah. No,
I just love trimming roses.
I know. I think I should have you come by and
we'll do some.
Yeah. Yeah, you did my climbing ones last year and they look great.
Sorry to derail.
No, it's great. It's fun. I get it. It's more fun for you than it is for me, apparently.
You deserve healthy roses. You're going to get it.
I am. One of the things that was recommended, because I want to use organic methods, there's a bonide product that you can use in December to spray. And then there's also like a lime sulfur, which is the stronger organic option. I am going to do that, and I'm going to get a separate sprayer. I'm just going to get a cheap backpack sprayer. I have 35-ish roses right now, and by next year I'll probably have 50, so I might as well invest in that. Yeah. But I'm going to get a cheaper backpack sprayer and use that just for the lime sulfur for whatever times. I think I'll only use it once, maybe twice a year. So I'm just going to dedicate it for that. And then I have a plan for the rest of the year that we can talk about later that will be like a by-month what to do. But December is a reset month. And I never really knew, oh yeah, you can spray in December. You can use that as a preventative. So there's a lot of stuff, January, February, March, that you can really do preventative-wise that I've never, ever done. So I'm interested to see, I'm like committing myself to my roses in 2026.
And you're bringing in the big guns.
And the big guns.
You're doing it. And I think it makes sense because they're dormant right now, and you're going to be doing your main structural trimming, cleaning out all that stuff. And then if you think about, it's like February, March, when you should be doing the finer trimming to get ready for that growth to start coming in. So it makes sense to be doing all this spraying in preparation.
Yeah.
a few months prior to the new foliage coming back in the spring.
Yeah. And another thing chat recommended was arborist chips, which I've
Yes.
never used before. So we're going to try to get some arborist chips to see if we can get a load and how that works, because they add so much more nutrition into the soil was one of the bigger reasons.
Interesting. As they break down.
Yeah, not really just because of water bouncing off or anything like that. I feel like with a combination of the green herring compost, which has been fantastic this year, like really a game changer for my garden, and the arborist chips, I feel like I'm going to have another layer of health going on besides just spraying. Because I believe I could do all the spraying in the world, but it's kind of like a diet. You know, what do they say? Like, you can't work your way out of a bad diet. Like, you can't work out so much that you can still have a crap diet and get the results.
Yeah.
So it's like it needs to have a really good diet that's not just fertilizer, but all the things, and the spray for prevention. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be reporting throughout the year.
Yeah. I want to see your roses thrive.
Yeah.
Because you have so many. You have an amazing rose collection.
Yeah.
All right. What else can we do? Okay. Protect your plants from the frost and cold. So last year I used plastic to cover my beds. The plastic basically stayed on there all winter long, and they did great. It was clear plastic so they could get sunlight through, and they did great. Anyway, I was cleaning out my garage and I found frost cloths. I was like, oh wow, these are great. 2 that were like exactly as long as my raised beds. And I was like, great find, don't have to get some from Shannon. So it's like, oh, it was a funny, good find. Anyways, I use those to cover up my stuff, and they're blowing off. I probably need to do a little bit better job securing them down.
Do you know what I used this year? Because
What?
last year I found some, this sounds ridiculous, but some not obnoxious potato chip clips.
Oh,
and,
that's a great
and
idea.
I used the potato chip clips for the metal hoops. But on the ones that I just kind of draped it over or something a little bit more, I've been using bricks.
That's
I
what
have extra
use.
bricks, yeah.
I use like little cinder blocks. I keep them around my beds for that purpose.
But the chip clips also are big enough to attach to the wood on the edge of your bed.
Oh my God, that's even better. I
Right.
love it. I'll just get
So,
some at the dollar store next.
Yeah, or
I
Home
love
Goods
that.
had them. They're like a little silicone one, so they're actually pretty sturdy.
Yeah.
So they're gonna last for a while. But yeah, so the little chip clips.
That's a great idea. I'm going to steal that. So yeah, you want to make sure that you're covering any of your plants that need it for hard freezes. We have all of our fall crops out there and covering those up. I'm hoping they'll get a nice jump start in the spring.
They will.
We'll see.
They will.
Some of my kales, they got nibbled by cabbage moths or worms.
Or could it also be birds?
It might have been the birds, but I did find a little worm on one of them. It was weird. I was like,
That's
it's
surprising.
October. Get out of here.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
maybe it was a residual one that was hiding out somewhere. I'm hoping that in the spring that they'll just kind of come back a little
They
bit with
will.
more vigor. You can uncover when it gets warm if your heart desires.
I
didn't a
do.
lot.
Yesterday, I totally forgot to do it. And then I went and harvested some arugula and some
It's
lettuce
fine.
and everything last night. And they were totally fine.
I mean, as long as it's not like 80 degrees and cooking
Yeah.
your shit. Last year when I did the plastic, it acted like a little greenhouse. I think that's why some of the stuff
Came back up.
came
Like
back,
the lettuce
like
seeds.
my lettuce seeds in November that I planted, and they came up in the spring. So there's another way to do it, folks.
I mean, sometimes it works, even though it's not I don't
And
know.
mulching. You could be mulching some of your stuff, your strawberries and garlic.
With my garlic, I just put the leaves from my pin oak on top of them as a little mulch. I used the
Yeah.
leaves around it. And this year, I dug a little trench that was shallow for the bulb size, and then I mounded soil on top of it. And then I just put the leaves on top of my little mounds.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the extent of me mulching those. And then with the strawberries, honestly, I just used frost cloths, but I'm sure I should throw some leaves in there and stuff. Last year, I forgot to cover them.
Yeah.
And they were totally fine.
Yeah. Throw a bunch of pin oak leaves in there. That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I used as mulch? Because the spot that I put my garlic in is where I pulled the bean stalks.
Oh.
Those were all dried and cracked, and so I just clipped them up and used the bean stalks as mulch.
Ah, that's interesting.
So we'll see
like
how it
that.
does. See if
Okay.
it helps, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And that's all great nitrogen-rich
long-
compost.
Yeah. As long as you don't have any like disease on your beans, which I really didn't. So
Yeah.
One of the other things is hellebores, which is one of my favorite plants. I love them so much. And I think it was another gardener who said that one of their Christmas traditions is sometime during Christmas Day, they go out and clip the dead sections off their hellebores, like the dead leaves and everything. So it helps improve the airflow and then lets room for new leaves to come in.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say I've never clipped the leaves off my hellebores, but I think this Christmas I'm definitely going to try to do that.
If it's like 17 degrees.
Unless it's 17 degrees,
still want
and
you
then
to
I'm
do
not
it.
going to do. I'm not doing
I want you to.
No. Delphi would love to help. Delphi, the puppy, is always trying to eat the hellebores. No, they actually really
They're bad for dogs.
They are bad
and
for
animals.
them.
That's great.
So
Perfect. Well, what else? Ooh, unhooking our drain hoses. I need to unhook my drip irrigation ones.
Yeah.
I do keep one hose hooked up though because it goes out to water the farm animals.
Yeah.
So I just kind of hope for the best.
Yeah.
Remove any timers and backflow valves.
one of the things that I do is I remove my timers. I have Beehive, and I really like the Beehive because it connects to Wi-Fi and not just Bluetooth. And that does make a difference. So I unhook them and I bring them in and put them on a specific shelf. And then I unplug the little Wi-Fi plug-in that you need for it to connect to, put that next to it. And then if I'm being really good, I take all the batteries out, unless I just replaced them, which one of them I did just replace right before.
Wow.
I take all the batteries out, and I just leave it empty so that at the beginning of the year, when I go back to use it, I have to put fresh batteries in.
Wow, you're so good. You are the winner.
If I'm good. If I'm good, that's great. It really helps. It's
a great idea.
Because I gotta tell you, it's a little fiddly sometimes on the bigger one to get it attached. I have 4 hoses that attach to it. So attach 4 hoses, get it hooked up, and then all of a sudden you're like, you have 10% battery life. I'm like, shit.
But I should have done it.
I know.
That is a bitch to get on. It had to do it for you in the spring.
Yeah.
I remember.
That is why I do it. It's so my future self will say,
Thank you, Shannon.
thank you, I love you.
Thank you. Good job. You had a gold star. Oh. And if you have some extra spare time, you could roll up all your hoses, store those properly instead of having them all over the ground. You could wash your pots and seed trays.
Oh my God.
We're just giving you shit to do in December.
We really
People
are.
are like, shut up. I have way too much stuff to do
Yeah.
anyways. I ain't cleaning no seed trays.
I gotta tell you,
Although
it's really,
that's probably a good thing to do.
It's funny because another very famous gardener who's super organic and does all the amazing stuff, he said he's never ever cleaned a seed tray out before. And I was like, thank you.
That's real
because
fucking life.
it's real. And here's the truth is that, like, yes, it is something that you should do. But my question is, why, if your soil that's in there is fresh and new and healthy, you're not like, you don't have disease in there. So unless you're in like a big greenhouse where you've gotten bugs in there, we're such a small, show over here that it's like, this is just stuff that there's not anything getting in there infecting it. This is a January thing for me. I'll take any of the seed trays I have that I didn't properly empty and I'll just bang them out into some soil over some plants and make sure they don't have any spider webs or any gunk in there. And if there's one that's really gross or sticky or whatever, then I'll spray it out. I think what's more important is taking stock of your seed trays, like after the holidays.
Yes.
Sit down, look at your covers, your seed trays, your individuals, and see if you need to reorder anything.
That's a good idea.
Get your planting compost ready and whatever materials you're going to use, because we are going to start sowing seeds in January.
I know we are. Gosh.
For me, it's about like, I could care less about spraying them out unless they need it, and more about making sure I have enough
We have
for what I'm
plenty
going to
because
do.
I have a bunch stored up that like when you would bring me plants, I've just saved them all. So we don't just have the inventory at your house.
Good.
You have my inventory too. And I've stocked them all up and I've just saved them so that when we're ready, we'll go through them.
And another thing you can do getting ready for January at the end of December is if you need grow lights, to go ahead and get some grow lights.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Good preparedness.
Yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up because we're already giving you way too much in December. But basically, the other thing to remember is that this is the time of year that birds really need your help. And we really can't have our garden as effectively if we don't have our birds and our pollinators. That's right. So definitely put out your bird food. One thing that is actually important to clean And I swear to God, Sarah Raven's husband has like terrified me of this, is your bird feeders, because they can really spread disease. Now,
I agree. That's a great point.
Yeah, you should clean them once a week is what they say.
Okay.
But gold star for you if you do, but at least I would say every couple weeks. And
like with Clorox and like really
rinse it out and clean it. Yeah, because there's certain birds that can spread more disease to the other ones that are more common. The other point Kate made earlier about leaving some seeds and stuff in your garden is great, because you do want to continue to leave some shelter. So it's kind of like, you know, obviously don't leave stuff that's diseased, but do remember that they are really hunting this time of year, especially going into
hungry.
They are hungry. I'm hungry. My tummy's growling now.
I know it is.
So really, I think that's it. We talked about some preparedness for the new year, and honestly, this month, you know.
Yeah, there's no pressure. You should be spending it with your family and your friends, and just, you know, pick a few things here and there to do, and just getting out there is what's most important. And here at Fostering Blooms, we want to wish you the most happiest of holidays.
Yes. Hopefully you ask for some good gardening gifts for whatever you're celebrating. Well, let's go get dirty.
Let's go grow, baby.
We love hearing from our listeners. Have a question, tip, or story to share? Send it our way at tips@fosteringblooms.com, and we may feature it in an upcoming episode. If you enjoyed today's episode of Fostering Blooms, please remember to follow and rate the podcast. Your support helps us reach more gardeners and bloom enthusiasts like you.